because the stick now in a hand of someone that is not a stick fighter just is a stick. But in the hand of the person that is a stick fighter has this logic and intent that is not just about war, but ritual war. That's saturated in something that could actually make you the superheroes that you watched when you was little. You know, the kung fu flicks that we watched that we thought were just, you know, so adjacent to us. But it's a part of our culture. What does it mean to have a martial tradition, a national martial art in the Caribbean that still lives? We are one of the only spaces in the Caribbean and probably the world that has held on to the entire complex of Kalinda. That's a huge deal. And if we continue to only, I'm gonna use the word, rape it in a particular sort of way, we're going to start to lose more parts of her. I don't believe that Kalinda could ever die, but I do believe that we kill our practitioners by not seeing them fully. I've heard some of the ways that people speak to practitioners when they're on a set, during Carnival. Some of the ways that I noticed that NCC has spoken to me, myself, as a stick fighter and to other stick fighters, is degrading, you know? It disregards their humanity in a certain sort of way. So no, Dion, I'm not happy. I'm not pleased at all. And not just because it's Kalinda, but because it's Black people, because it's people, and you don't know what anyone is going through. I don't know if anyone in this space has ever sat down and asked a Kalinda practitioner, a stick fighter, what they want. What do they want to see for their participation in Carnival?
What do you want to see?
I would like to see, one, that people are able to understand what they're looking at when they're viewing stick fight. That will require us delving into the histories of Kalinda beyond what is written down. And most of it has been written down by non-practitioners, if not all of it. As far as I know, besides interviews and tremendous help that Rondo Benjamin, aka Benji, has lent to scholars, artists, other martial artists worldwide, I'm the first practitioner to write about Kalinda in academia. It's not a big deal to me in my brain. It's a big deal because I don't want to be the last. I want it to be a door where now other practitioners can write. I want Kalinda practitioners to be given platforms so that they can speak for themselves. I think interviewing is very hard for me. And I know that it's taken practice, right? And it takes practice to do it. Because I want to be able to have a conversation, and I don't want to be in a space where I am posturing Kalinda. I want to be able to talk about Kalinda the way I would if I'm sitting around talking to anyone. Any one of the stick fighters, any one of my students. And I think that them being able to have a platform to give voice to what it is that they do is necessary, to give voice to what they want in the space. And they have said it. They've said it in interviews. They've said it to NCC directly. Some of the things that have occurred is that the truth of the matter is we don't value stick fighters. We just don't, you know, as a society we don't. Then there are communities that grew up watching stick fight, love stick fight, will be there whether it's cameras, lights, action or not, right? That stick fight is happening all year round, even when we don't see it during Carnival. One of the problems I think that has occurred, and I've said this in other interviews, Kalinda for me is the mother of Carnival. Academia has allowed me a space to gather evidence to prove that she is the thing that has brought Carnival to life in a lot of ways. She's not the only thing, but she is the thing. Marshall's song this year, which I really like, one part that is, I think, great that opens up conversation is when he calls Kalinda a grandfather. To every practitioner that I know, Kalinda is a feminine energy. So I find it to be very interesting that he used that gender to describe Kalinda. It could have been a conscious decision, it could have been not conscious decision, and he could just not know. right? That's how the practitioners feel about it. But I think that's my point, is that we don't ask, that we don't seek out the practitioners to say, you know, how do you feel about this? And not just one practitioner, but go in how we would do research, right? And meaning that it means to search again. Ask more than one person what this instantiation of Kalinda means to them. But all the stick fighters, I don't know every stick fighter, but all the ones that I know, we refer to Kalinda as Mother Kalinda. So I think one of the biggest things is that I'd like to see the space, artists, reporters, government organizations, grassroots organizations, really reaching out to practitioners and finding out what they need if they want them to show up in space to do a stick fight. Not assuming that because it's Kalinda that you're going to get the whole complex, meaning that, well, I need you to bring drums and I need you to make sure the chantuel there, and or they will sing for 2-3 hours and or they will get $200 or you get $1,000. One of the things that I notice when people have called me to do things, they never start off with telling me how much money is involved. And for me, as a girl, it's not about the money, right? Everything that I've done artistically my whole entire life, I've done it because I love to do it. And it's the same thing with stick fighters. I think one of the reasons why the stick fighters continue to deal with NCC and other organizations that may not be as respectful as they could be is because they love Kalinda. They're not doing it for NCC, you know, and I experienced that this year because of my attempting to play. And it was like, I just wanted to play. I don't really care about y'all. I want to play. And when you have a love for art and when you have a love for what you do and what you live in that kind of way, people take advantage of it. They take advantage of it. And I think it's unfortunate. And I think that what I would love for our societies to start to look at is, what would you want for yourself? What we want for your child? These are people's children, you know? If you called a doctor's office and said, you know, I'm looking to get a consultation, the doctor would give you a price, or you would even ask for a price. Why is that not the same standard when we reach out to stick fighters? Why do we think that risking your life, like it is the only form where you are risking your life, probably besides jab, the whip masters. It's the only one that you are literally going to risk your life for entertainment. Now, you're not looking at it as entertainment as a stick fighter, right? You understand that the people are going to be entertained, but we have become bloodthirsty as audience members inside of the Gael, because we think that that's what Kalinda's about. And that is a part of it. It's a part of it is busting somebody's head, right? And that blood will come. But the blood is ritual, right? One of the ways I've put it before is that the Kalinda practitioner and Kalinda itself it's the sacrifice before Carnival actually begins. It's the one form that we shed blood so that the space could be good the rest of the Carnival. And when I think about it that way, it's the most beautiful thing. But that's a heavy, heavy thing, to be that person and to stand bravely and say, I'm going to step into a Gael, I'm going to risk my life, and whoever comes, comes, you know?